Hey everyone, Metaphysical Mama, welcome back. I appreciate your presence and your energy. And happy Monday. What's Monday? May 3rd, I think. I think it's the 3rd. It is Monday. And I'm just taking a look, sorry, at my star chart and checking out where some stuff is in the sky presently. And the moon and Saturn. Let's see if you could see this. I love this app. It's called Star Chart. Oh, I just hit something. I'll get back there. Here we are. Moon. Come here, you. So right now, the moon is in Capricorn. Right in the heart of Capricorn. And Saturn is there. Can you see? Ah, why does it keep changing the screen on me? And I go to show it. That's funny. Anyhow, so sea goat represents Capricorn. Saturn is a gas giant. The moon is a rocky planet, and the sea goat represents Capricorn, our physical body. And let's see if I can theta Capricorn. I'm trying to see if it can. Don't move on me again. Sea goat, Capricornus. Capricornicus is one of the constellations of the zodiac and one of the original 48 constellations listed by the 2nd century astronomer Ptolemy. Oh boy, here's a word I don't know. Colloquially known as Capricorn. It is the second faintest constellation of the zodiac after Cancer, with only one star above magnitude 3. Several galaxies and star clusters are contained within Capricornicus, including M30. And at least 5 planets within the constellation are confirmed to be exoplanet systems. Wow. So the moon's in Capricorn right now. And let's read about the mythology of Capricorn too. Despite its faintness, Capricornicus has one of the oldest mythological associations, having been consistently represented as a hybrid of a goat and a fish since the Middle Bronze Age, right? Like the Anunnaki gods, or the gods that appeared coming from the waters, right? This goes into like Mermaidian and the fish gods, and like why the popes wear like the fish hat. Babylonian, Sumerian, let's see what else it says. First attested in depictions from around the 21st century BCE. It was explicitly recorded in the Babylonian star catalogs, the goat fish, before 1000 BCE. The constellation was a symbol of the god Ea. And Ea and Ki, right? Ea, if we add R and TH, right? Land or ocean to it, Earth mass. Now we have Earth. And in the early Bronze Age marked the winter solstice, which would be, it's kind of Osiris, right? Marking death, Taurus to Osiris. That's kind of like the fall. And it just depends on what side you're on. Like right now, I'm on the East Coast, And right in Australia, they're in fall. We're in spring, they're in fall, right? Different time zones and different seasons in all different areas, right? Are we going to argue with another nation or what have you that it's not the season that they're in, right? No, it's not sunny right now where you are. No, it's not winter. No, it's not getting cold. Okay. Because it's getting nicer over here. We're going to argue that it's right. It's the opposite on the other side, right? Everything has an opposite pole. Hermetic law. Um, okay, let's see what else. Let's see what else is up in here. In Greek mythology, the constellation is sometimes identified as Amalthea. And I can look that up. I got my computer opened up so we can play for a bit. I didn't know what I was gonna do. I was just gonna, right? Let the energies take me away, so to speak. Identified as Amalthea. It's Amalthea. The goat that suckled the infant Zeus after his mother Rhea saved him from being devoured by his father Kronos. And now now Saturn is in Capricorn also where the moon is, right? Kronos. Some myth suggests that the goat's broken horn may have become the cornucopia or horn of plenty, like unicorn horn, or like the ear of corn that Virgo holds, the wheat. Capricornicus is also sometimes identified as Pan, right? And we're having a pandemic, panspermia. The god with a goat's head, like Moloch too, right? Moloch or Molech. I don't quote me because they're different. Moloch is different than Molech, right? But they sound similar. Who saved himself from the monster Typhon, which is another vibration of Kronos. Same with Pan being another vibration of Zeus. Who saved himself from the monster Typhon by giving himself a fish's tail and diving into a river. Right? Ooh, ooh, ooh. And let me show you. Wait. That's actually, yeah. There's a river. Come back. And I say, how's that song? I say, I beg your pardon. The rose departed. Rawr, rawr, like a dungeon dragon. Just kind of my head. Kind of messy, but. The river. Oops. Hi, hi. The river is right near the furnace. Let's see if I can find it up on here. Oh, and yeah, this is like the coolest. If you don't have this app on your phone, I'm not like being paid for that or anything, but I highly, highly, highly recommend. It's called Star Chart, and you can like move it around, and it any time of day it tells you like where all the constellations are, and you can zone in on them, and you know, as you just saw, like tap on them, and it was 9 minutes and 19 seconds in. Is this that? Tap in on them. Herculina, an asteroid. One of the largest members of the main asteroid belt, and is believed to rank among the top 20 in size, but the exact dimensions of many large asteroids are still uncertain. 532 Herculina is a large asteroid with a diameter of around 225 kilometers, an Aquarius constellation. Cool. So where's Virgo? Doobie doobie doo. They're serious. All right, so we got Mercury. Let's see, is approaching the ram. So they're all passing through. And right, so the sun and Uranus are in Aries right now. In the ram. Right in the ram. Right in the memory, right? Ram represents memory too, right? Um, Hector, Sirius, Eris, Chiron, Uranus, the sun, Venus, Mercury. All right, so all aligned in Aries right now, presently. So lots of energy, right? Lots of okay, so what's getting lit up? So the sun's in Aries and Uranus. Okay. Let's pull a card. And definitely download Star Chart. That shit's an amazing app. Yeah, the river. Oh, my allergies make my nose itch. Let's see. The river. Search. See if that. Yeah, so anyhow, formula. That's a southern fish. Yeah, and Pisces. Okay, so wait. That's a big one too. Formula. Yo, and Iris is in there too. Fixed star. So, okay, and formula is Pisces right now. Jesus, a fisher of men. I'm gonna pull a Greek mythology deck card. So there was a movie I watched the other day called Ender's Game. It was a little older. I never seen that before. I was like, wow. And then I got to see a really awesome. I gotta find it, but if you're familiar with Peace Stealer, Mike, he did a really, 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 really. He always has great stuff, but he did a really good. He had an upload with him and a friend of his, Darius. I highly, highly recommend and suggest checking that out. Because those two, well, yeah, powerhouses and soul family connections. And the more we all connect and do these practices with one another and alone and just connecting energetically, etc., the more that we clear all the negative energy and the fear and the chaos and the confusion and the delusion and all this shit, right? The shit, we're cleaning the shit. Somebody gotta do it. All of us. We all gotta do it. We all gotta do our part, right? So let's see what energy. Let's see. We need some messages here. I mean, there's so much bullshit going on. You know, the cards always like to fly out on me. That's when I know they want to talk. Like I said, I don't like to, ooh, see? And I just look at that. We're looking at the star chart, the world, the moon, Queen of Wands. Hi, hi, hi. Ace of Wands action. So gorgeous. I lots of I thought Mama Cutie. the same. I was just showing in star chart. The moon is in Capricorn with Saturn, and we just read the mythology on that. So, and then lots of Mars energy, lots of fire energy. The sun and a whole shit ton of stuff is in Aries at this present moment, which is like what definitely represents this fire lit up. So lighten up the world by going in. And I really too want to talk about, because I see there's some fear going around about, because the second wave is hitting in some areas. Kind of, I was just talking about like it's, different times of day, different times in different time zones and different seasons in different areas of the world, right? So the conscious waves hit everybody different too, right? That we're getting lit up by, right? Lit up. Cool like a cucumber. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're getting, right, being a first wave, we've kind of gone through all our like the rocky planet, like the moon is a rocky planet. So we've been going through our internal rocky shit for quite some time, right? And our inner darkness. And that's what I kind of wanted to talk about, because I heard, like, how I'm talking. David Vos was speaking. I watched a video on him, and they're talking about India and stuff today, getting hit with a second wave of the CV blah blah, and that they were saying that they wish they didn't, jump so quickly. Listen, it comes in waves. Like we were just reading about Herculina, the asteroid. Asteroids are like emotional blockages that as we travel through, they get lit up, and they light up our internal moon as we're traveling by them, like poof. That's kind of also a variation and definition of this, right, so-called virus, but it's really, right, also DNA awakening. So it's messy when it first comes out and first starts to erupt and get, right, activated. So it's like a pearl in a shell, right? It's like a piece of sand bouncing around inside the oyster and aggravating the oyster, bouncing around, and eventually that, right, becomes a pearl, and the oyster spits it out, or right. So it's activating, right, on a world level, but it comes in waves. So it's just like it's like never better or worse, right? As far as me, like I'm always a student. I could never know everything. So it's like no matter what, I'm always open-minded and willing to listen and be in the position of said student as we're pioneering, right? We've been paving the pathway for many by sacrificing our daily lives, our regular human routine. We kind of got jumped off that wagon a long time ago, a lot of us. So then those that haven't, right, that can cause a lot of fear. So we want to be there for those beings in an energetic manner right now, because that's what I was referring to, talking about getting put into like the dark ages, where darkness, the darkness that we're going into right now is more the subconscious darkness. So again, it's like the triple moon goddess. You're going into your own darkness, not where somebody else is throwing a shadow to cause fear, right? If I just shut the lights off, right, that's somebody I'm turning off the light. But that's a completely artificial light that I have to have electricity running through the building and have it plugged into a wall and have a light bulb in it to turn it on, right? In order for it to light up. But it still works the same as when we have an epiphany or our internal, where is our origin? To go back, right? Back to the future, to go into our depths and darkness, right? Of self. And you have control over that by being calm, cool as a cucumber, like Melissa T say. Mm-hmm. That's yeah. Closing your yeah. I close my eyes all the time. People think I'm ignoring them. It's like, no, I see better that way. Better to see you with, my dear. I see better in the dark because I'm not having my eyes obstructed by all the views, everything that I'm taking in, right? Like, look around. Look at all this stuff I got here, right? It's like our eyes are constantly recording. So we're constantly fucking taking in so much information. So to close our eyes where we can come to 0 point gravity, right, and get to that buoyancy point, right, a true north within our own vessel. So we're calming our inner child, right, by using our vessel to detect when we're getting triggered and hit with a wave or electricity is zapping up through us, right? Really? That's so funny you just wrote that because the original title I had up on my other, which I just had a mess getting it up there. Yeah, the gut. That's what I told, yeah, Joe this morning too. I remember, can you feel the beat within my heart? Can you see my love shine through the dark? Can you feel the beat? I had that up as the title with the moon thing, but it didn't work out on the other platform I was trying to go live on. So I had to 86 it and stick with my StreamYard, which I fucking am so grateful for. I love the yard. Duck, duck, goose. Um, and then yeah, and we're really clearing the gut, and the gut has a separate different nervous system, right, than the body. So it's like my Apple phone or my Mac communicating with the Android phone that I'm recording off of right now, which they can, but right, it's like, but so they do, but different programs. So having that awareness is super important, like laying down flat, right? The solar plexus is projecting upward, right? Like the sleeping giant Cthulhu from way underwater, one-eye monster, right? That motherfucker sleeping way under the sea, right? Under the sea, which way down in our cerebral cortex. That's the subconscious. So that's where our deep, 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 deep darkness, that's what's getting, right? We're awakening the dead and within ourselves, right? We've all been like, right, the walking dead. um, mm-hmm. Hells yes. Love those reflexology points. I need a reflexology foot massage. Um, so yeah, going into the darkness, don't, right? Have no fear. Um, don't fear like that, right? If you're fearing that you're worried about other people pulling you into the dark ages, we're still in the dark ages. We're still paying taxes. So World War II's never ended, right? You only pay taxes in war, right? Lottery is supposed to be paying for our bridges and our roads to be drivable, and there's god dang enough gambling fucking problems. So I'm not quite sure where and why money's having to, right, like why would anybody have to have any there's so many things that, and again, we're producers of our own reality. We're creators and producers. So it's really important that we all link energetically in whatever manner is natural to you in your now and present moment. Be you. Go in. Don't be afraid. Right? Like Lost Boys. So much easier when you don't fight, Lucy. Speaking of Lucy, Melissa T, you'll know who I'm talking about. And I'm honored, and actually, I want to say this on I don't have the names, but our friend there, Lucille, a la Lucy, um, little her little one just passed away. She had a fight with breast cancer for a while, some kind of cancer, or uterus, I forget which cancer. So, and I want to get into that too. Cancer, it represents crab. So, see, our beliefs, when we believe things are bad and oh, we're sick and oh, da 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 da, and we're then looking for like, so then we've give up and then we hope for someone or something to save us. We already lost our hope, see? So, there's a inaccuracy right there in development, because if we lose hope and lose faith, right, that our bodies heal themselves and we have to tune in to find why our body is manifesting what it's manifesting. And that can be right on many different micro vibratory levels. So we have to just to tune in. I know it's fun. I love that it's you here. But eventually other people will be watching me, and you are here now, but you won't show up here then when other people are watching. So it'll look like I'm talking to myself to somebody else on the thing, which is whatever, but right? Because I don't save the It's all we need, baby. And the energy stays always exists anyway. And then anytime anybody comes, anytime, and anyhow, in any other manner, it's always here. So this Stargate is always here. And I'm so happy you're here with me. Me, 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 me. Hell yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right? Freaking metaphysics. Yeah, exactly. Only person. Okay, shoot. Melissa T says, I mean internal work. No one's saving me but me. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Right. We joke about that a lot, saying it's an inside job. Right. Be nice to have some cool friends to hang out. Oh yeah. And share, yeah. And share, right? Yeah. I just let me see. I'm like hold on, I think I'm about to have a baby. I think I'm about to have a thought come through, a conception. That's what I had pulled up, the barley. And I wanted to read that up in here. And I also wanted to pull a moon card, since it's Moonday Monday. Oh, what a night. What time is it? Ooh, it's 7:07. 00000007. Moon messages for Monday. Oops, I bent my card like a beast. Like a beast. What else was I seeing today that... Oh, the allergies. Forget the battery. Allergies. Brr. Barley. What's that song? Barley oats. Oh, this is actually a cool one. The metaphysical meaning of nature. Nature. Woo! A time to give rather than take. So, a time for nature. Luck is on your side. New moon and Sag. The intellect's name for God, which is masculine, right? The intellect represents linear thinking. Men fall short when they seek to find God by studying nature. Instead, as like we were just talking about, instead of molding and animating the cells of their bodies, they project thought outward in speculating about the universe and its law. Nature is the servant of mind. Nature is the servant of mind, right? Intellect is in our brain, and so nature has to serve, right, the mind, which is above, right, mind over matter, my physical matter. Right? I can't grab my mind. My mind is infinite, and right, very infinite possibilities. I can go anywhere in my mind, right? So, but nature has to be servant to the intellect. That's kind of like we want that. We want to have a filter between the mind, then the intellect and the brain, right? So that our nature, right, isn't of like, right, nasty. It's like okay to be on occasion and all that, but right, but to have awareness. All right. Head be detached from the body. The head be detached from the body. Yeah, floating like a little bit like a helium balloon. We're all missing parts somewhere, right? It's like what's in your wallet? What you missing? Like walking dead. Zombie apocalypse. Everybody's missing some piece or another. So it's like everybody handicapped, everybody got addictions, everybody codependent, everybody's afraid, everybody believes bullshit that, right, that is more and not bullshit like we're so stupid, but up until that, right, it's like now we get to open more of the lotus, we get to open more of the present and the present now moment so we can see more variables and possibilities, right? So we're not so stuck in a corner with our like horses thinking we fucking know everything. Oh, and yeah, I spied that. DM, yeah, which is our intellect. DM represents our masculine reconnection. Am I losing service? I looked like my lips aren't really matching. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we do that totally. Nurture the true mother nature by, yeah, balance. A new romantic cycle begins. Your hard work is paying off. And that's where that moon is right now, in that sea goat with Saturn, Kronos, right? Kronos tries to eat the babies. He's right there. They're just a big rock. Why he don't feel well. I let people ain't feeling well, because right, that's like believing, wanting to take somebody else's things, gifts, etc. Right? Lots of that karma is nothing is yet in stone. All right, let me finish reading about nature. So they project thought outward and speculating about the universe and its law. Right? It's always trying to figure it out, which is different than allowing and acceptance. and breathing, being. Nature is the servant of mind, and when lawful thoughts are enthroned in consciousness, nature restores the natural harmony existing between spirit, soul, and body. When man asserts his divine supremacy, he dominates nature. Right? When man asserts his divine supremacy, he dominates nature. Nature, animal, the undisciplined nature in man, or that phase of his being which has been allowed to express according to the desires of sense. So again, that go back to the solar plexus, right? Desire, or lust, right? Lust comes from the gut. You have a gut feeling, right? It's important to trust our gut. But it's also important to know that desire and lust and all dis-ease also come from the gut. Because the gut has to process whatever the brain, right? It's like if my brain's hungry, my brain and my stomach are talking. So it's the same with mentally and emotionally, that has to go, all right? Again, like I said, that nature serves the mind, the higher mind. So everything has to go back down, right? All got to go back down to the bottom. What goes up must come down. um Desires of sense, yes, and our sense can get quite confused, our need, and what we love, and like, right, feeling like like we're not gonna have what we, right, want or desire, can definitely get in our way of divinity and our divine nature, rather than our, right, animalistic nature. So nature, restorative power of. This is the name given by doctors to the spirit of health, which is always right at hand, awaiting an opportunity to enter in, to make whole, and to harmonize all discords in the body, right? So nature isn't prejudice. It just depends on what we're programming nature to, what we're saying to our intellect after it goes flying up out of us and it comes bouncing back down. It's like, ooh, we just swallowed that rock, right? But nothing's yet written in stone, wherever that one was, right? And you are never alone. So you always have ability to re-alchemize, right, certain thoughts. And it's like, okay, wait, now we're just starting to recognize our, right, stinking thinking patterns of thinking, behaviors, right? When we get hit or triggered, right, by something somebody else may say, excuse me, or if an obstacle, right, may come in our way. And yeah, changing all the time. And the only constant is change. So it's like in 1 second, it's like, oh, I may feel this way. And then in the next, it's like, well, it's like, right. Or if I mix that thought, right, it's like, oh, that may be okay. But if it's mixed with, right, alchemy, if it's a shitty day or this happens, blah, 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 well then, right. So that experience can turn sour really quickly, right? Or depending on how I'm looking at it, or right, what else is involved in that equation, right? This is like, right, quantum physics, our thoughts, our feeling, what else is going on to either create harmony, or maybe it's not quite in, right, it ain't quite nice and in harmony, right? It's like, yeah. So sometimes it means no, and sometimes it means, yeah, just wait a little, yeah. Right? So we don't have to freak out. It's like, it's in the works. It's like when the pizza, you call and you order a pizza. It's not like pink, it's right there. Right? It's like, okay, we're making you pizza. You gotta wait. Patience is a virtue. But we like to stick our hands in there all the time or keep peeking, especially when we're excited, right? It's like, can we eat it yet? Or is it ready yet? Right? We want it now. Can we just have a taste? How come we can't at least just look? But why? Ay, 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 pizza pie. Oh, for a piece of pie. 314. Pie. Okay. Also, that's a kind of long one, but I kind of wanted to read it because this is the subject that keeps coming up. Pharaoh and Josephus and let my people go and Exodus and the plagues and this second wave, which just again, it's like great man make plan and God says, bah! That's cute though. Go this way. So if you have ability to look at it a little more like that, it's like, because we're like, oh, but come on. And they're like, yeah, we love you, but you're going this way. And again, it brings up a lot of fear because, a lot of you been here a long time and been paving the way for us to all pave the way now, right? So that's a little mind fuckeray. But if you look at it in a manner, if you are able, right, that you actually have a break, a well-deserved break to pat yourself on the back and say, damn good job, boy, right? And give yourself a hug, seriously. Because it's important to acknowledge this is how we take a second, right? Or a few moments, however that is, in your now moment, right? To just be grateful and to be present and take a few breaths, right? And like, just be grateful, just be and allow, right? Energy to clear, right? My favorite state, right? Like the smoke, let the smoke clear, let the waves settle, right? Um, some kind of rhyme, Hansel and Gretel. Damn breadcrumbs and the fucking birds. Keep eating all the god dang breadcrumbs. Ay, ay, ay. It really is kind of like that too. The story of the whole, right? Like a lot of the Grimm's fairy tales you can refer to as and there's so many movies and stories and like whatever else like that of like so if you can write, communication is key. And don't forget, this is like evolutionary, right? So the way we're used to thinking in our human mind set, right? Set wants to set up Osiris. We're blocking ourselves from allowing our Christ consciousness to evolve and take its rightful seat at the throne of Osiris, right? So that the metaphysical crown can be worn. But again, it's just like little, it's like we all graduate at different times and there's no end ever. There's no finish line. So it's like no matter, we're constantly opening the gifts to self. Just some of them, right, may blow up in our face. They may be real special and take a real special moment of patience to get through, right? But again, right, it's like the pearl, right? That piece of sand that's bouncing around, right, in the shell. That's kind of that definition of hell. One of them, which is where we're at. Like it or not, it's where it's at. Right? Heavenly Father. Right now, heavenly, heaven, heavy, 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 right? Depends on which angle you're coming from. It's like heaven, cloudy, heavy. Can be a lot more heavy. But right, so but definition I'm playing, right? In definition of hell, right? There's HEL, HELL, hello, hello, hi. So again, important to, and I'll look that up too, but just to see what they say here. But it's just being in a lower vibrational frequency. So right, if it's like if I'm in a state of being emotionally or mentally like angry, or I'm like, oh, everything sucks all the time, and like I never get my way, and I don't understand why this is always happening to me, right? That it's like those which we all go through, but those, right? So we know that's definition of hell, being stuck, right? And stinking thinking in a lower vibrational frequency where we feel like, right? So, but in those moments, right, is where we find, right, light in the dark, right? We wouldn't know how to find, right, a spark in the dark if we didn't know what it felt like to get stuck there. Yeah. You see that little red light? You see that moving around? Look, it's a UFO. Unidentified. Light being, here it goes. Can you see that, miss? Playing with the candle. Ah, there's like an orange and red, like a ultra magnetic with the red dot in it. Look at, and then a ultra purple. Can you see that? I see it on the screen. I don't want to move because I'm scared it's gonna. Right, or at there. Wait. Yeah. Anyway, now it's in front of my eyeball. Reflections of light. Reflections. Deflections. So yeah, let's see. Metaphysical meaning of Pharaoh. Pharaoh, the king, the Ra, the sun. Now this is in truthunity.net. Re, Ra, right? Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So let's read. I'll get into Ra, Re. How many Ra's there are. Moon Ra, Ra. King of Egypt. The name or title of Egyptian kings is mentioned in the Bible. Genesis 12:15 and 41, Exodus 1 to 14, 30, and first book of Kings 3:1. Right, meta physical meaning. Pharaoh means the sun, right? Solar plexus. He is ruler of the solar plexus. The sun center in the subconscious mind. This is obscurity or Egypt to the conscious mind. Pharaoh's the sun. The sun's being in Egypt shows us that the light of the sun of righteousness is veiled by our life on the lower or sense plane, on the lower of sense plane. Joseph's being sold into Egypt signifies that our spiritual consciousness is being bartered away that we may enjoy the things of sense, and that the life forces are being spent in their gratification. Did you hear me, though? Giving myself permission. Yeah, deprogramming unworthiness, because that's bullshit. You're so worthy that this is why, right? Joseph being sold into Egypt. So we're all Joseph right now. Okay. We've all been sold, right, to the government, so to speak. We all have a social security number. We all have our name in capital letters, etc. Right. So we all have been sold into, say, slavery, enslaved. So now we want to awaken, remember who we are as divine, multidimensional sovereign beings. But you can't just be like, right, I want it, Daddy, I want it now. Because we're not Veruca or whatever from Willy Wonka, right? We're allowing ourselves to develop like a picture, right? Like a Polaroid picture, right? Naturally, by going through the scary stuff, we need to take a look at our behaviors that we may need to balance and have a little bit more handle on before we have the ability to claim our sovereignty. Right? When we speak of disclosure and all this extra stuff, right? It's like, right, little by little things are being, right, brought out into public. But we have so many different beings and so many different belief systems, right? And so many different levels of awareness and conscious awareness, right? And those that are awakened, awakening, beginning to awaken, right? We're never fully awakened. We're always awakening more and more, right? There's never like, oh, that's it. I got all the, right? Because then there's nowhere to move on the chessboard. You're infinite and omnipotent. There ain't nothing else for you to know. Then there ain't nowhere for you to go, right? Tell me how I'm supposed to live with no air. Ain't no moves. So that being said, right, because we can take it into context as a story, but then we want to apply things to ourselves and find out what we're talking about, right? What the fuck are we talking about? So we're talking about the life forces being spent in their gratification, right? Again, desire, gut, what we're all, or where we fear lack, right? We're in fear that we're not going to be taken care of. So we're in survival mode, right? And we're in survival mode. That's natural human behavior. And that's how we've been living for a long time, right? We have to work, make money, survive, provide, right? Raise kids, etc. Raise ourselves, and then we all think that we're grown and we've already done our job. And it's like, this is what we're saying right now, right? It's like God's like, oh, wait, excuse me, time to wake up now. So it's like everything you thought is good, but we're gonna make a quarter turn this way and shift the energy like this. So now we're gonna go like that. Right? So learning to be flexible. Right? And go with the flow, right? Like Bruce Lee said, be like water. Be like water. Which is very difficult. Because our fears are legit, right? They can our emotions that we're experiencing are real. What we're feeling, so we don't want to deny that, and right, like put that as like don't, right? It's important to acknowledge what we're feeling and give it love and allow it to come up, right? It's kind of like a burp or it's like, great, it's like, may not, but it's like you're gonna feel better if you allow it to come up, right? And let the air out, right? There's a trapped air bubble in there. Or some old fart is got his big old chair, rocking chair, and he's like on the hose. One of those damn watchers been watching too long, and they're like, or they're doing it on purpose just to fuck with you. Because they like to do that too. Especially if they know it pisses you off, forget about it. Oh, they're definitely fucking with you. Adjustments are required. Sorry. I told you Saturn was in freaking Capricorn or whatever it was. Sea goat. Yeah, Capricorn. Playing games. Don't let your past hold you back. South Node. Right? Yeah. The North dumps it out. So, yeah. Okay, let's keep on. Let's check out. All right. So, all right. So, yeah. Okay. So that's when we speak of, right, our resources are being, we are the resources, and our resources feature. Honey, our resources are being harvested, right? So that's like, right, stock market, right? To market, to buy a fat pig, home again, chickadee chig, right? To market, to buy a fat hen. Home again, huh? Big Ben? And huffing up, puffing up, know your house down. Oh, actually, I want to finish reading this, but important, yeah. Over on the East Coast here in Fairfield County, we have something called Chinese mitten crabs invading the banks. And they freaking hatch like 25 or 35,000 eggs, and it makes the mud banks collapse. So I have to do some research on it. They just posted that on the news right before I did this. There's the North Node. Step out of your comfort zone. You know, they just did that. They posted that on the news just before I popped on here, and I found it very interesting. And they look like they're little boxer gloves. Crabs are like. So very interesting. Right, Chinese mitten crab coming with mittens on, coming with boxing gloves on, right? Now, virus started in China. Money was made in China originally. That ticket, that fabric cloth that got ripped and wrote IOU because everything else got already depleted. Nothing left to give. So I had to be like, well, I ain't got nothing else. So what does this say? Yeah. That's funny, right? Energy never lies. Yeah, Rooster. Remember from Annie? The train tracks. Lots of synchronicities. Multidimensionally. So yeah, wait, what the freak was I saying, right? And you are good enough. Never think you're not. You're the shit. You the shit. That's why, right? I was gonna say too, right? Like think of like Wall Street, right? The wall. Where's the wall built? Right? Stockings. Santa stockings hung on the wall. Dash away, dash away, dash away all. What else? Smoking like a chimney, or peering down into your chimney, right? Cheese up brick. Ow. Show the world the real you. No masks. There was a video that came up today too. It was really good. It was about like truth and lie, and how truth thought, right, she was so perfect, or that lie was a liar, but when lie, it was like hot out, and lie was like but it's really nice out. And it's like, yeah, but it's really hot. But it's like, but it is really nice out. The sun's out and right, you're able to enjoy the day. So it may be hot, but it still is nice, right? You could find the beauty in the heat. So truth recognized, lie wasn't lying, right? Even though it was like hot and like miserable and like sweaty and sticky, right? So again, it's just kind of, and it was went into more, but it's about, again, about perception and being able to put one in each other in one another's shoes. Surrender, Dorothy. Surrender to the divine. So we're not trying so hard to control the outcome, right, out of manifest fear, destiny, right, feeling a lack, by, truly, it's time to release negativity. Yeah, allowing the divine to work through you. Um, and remember to breathe. Because the divine wants you to evolve, right? Father, say sky, Father universe, however it is to you, right? The universal Father, right? The Gaia, however, divine mother, importantly, your innermost, like, you want to live and like see what do you want to see in this world be? What do you want to, like, the most, it could be the most impossible imaginary, right? How else do things get, right? It's like, use your imagination, go there, like, allow yourself to dream. Remember what it's like to dream, um, and just be, right? Without all the worry. Um, Funny. Tornadoes where? What video? It's funny, actually. I was watching a video this morning earlier, but I said to Joe a while back that tornadoes are man-made. And I watched this whole thing on tornadoes. Nothing is yet set in stone. Mutable moon. And I couldn't pay attention very well this morning to it. It's like it wasn't quite the right time for me to fully get into it, but it had to do with the upflow and the two different, how the had four different streams that come down, and then the two different, like on the left side, like one goes counterclockwise and the other one goes clockwise. And if it was only made from, like, yeah, cold and hot air, it'd be all the time. So it's like, yeah, I gotta watch it again. But yeah, it creates the tunnel. Tubal cane. That's what I had to say about that. I was like, whoa, it's a tubal cane. Cain and Abel, and then there's tubal cane, the one that travels from up and down the tube there. Horizon, right? Go on the curve. Up and at him. Oh, Lord. Melissa. Well, this is live. Live and in effect. What can we expect? Nothing. No thing. And yeah, limitless potential and possibilities. What? Melissa said limitless potential and possibilities. And look at what the card said. In sync. Believe in the impossible. Blue moon. That looks pretty with my little jellyfishes behind there. So yeah. Oh, and lots of stuff going on in Antarctica. Surrender. Surrender to the divine. And yeah, it's like we can get scared. It's like, right, when you're gonna it's like, but if the more we allow, like, it's like, okay, I'm a little nervous, but like, okay, and then tap in with your higher conscience and your gut, right? And ground yourself. And it's like almost like if you're about to jump in the water, it's like, is it going to be cold? Then it's like, so, right, a little scary. But then once we jump in, it's like, ah, and then it's like, psh, and then we're like, hee, 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 and then we're having fun, right? Generally speaking, you are good enough. Just jump in. The walls are coming this way anyhow. It's like, just surrender to the divine because it's coming. Yeah, the friggin' tubes. Can you even miss? Rubber ducky. Yeah. You're very close to achieving your goal. That reminds me of you, Melissa. This one. The evergreens and the full moon. Mm-hmm. Love them mountains. So here, let's see what else. Josephus here. Egypt, Pharaoh, more an arrow. Okay, so being in Egypt shows us that the light of the sun of righteousness is veiled by our life on the lower or sense plane, right? So it's our lower, that's again, that's a lower vibe. That's where Lord, the law, the Lord, Lord, don't come around here. All respect, just different steps of the ladders, peeps. So all respect. Again, it's like, right, we always respect where you come from. And as we climb, right, the right, Jacob's ladder, upgrading our DNA, we're climbing the ladder, right, of ascension. We're also still swimming together in 0 point, right? Really in the middle of nowhere, where there's no thing, right? Because we're creating infinite possibilities. So we're climbing up and letting things light up and then allowing it to, right, at the same time dissolve and be what it may, right? We don't have to hold on to it in any particular way. Yeah. Which could be tricky. But it's because it'd be hard letting go. I have a hard time too. Many things, right? It's like, yeah, we get scared. It's like, yeah, but wait, wait. Right? When we're in fear, we're in fucking fear. And there ain't nothing you're gonna say or do to make us feel better until somebody does something or says something to make us feel better, right? Or we it's like we need a moment, right? We need time and space for processing. Okay. So it's important that we give ourselves that respect and others, other people, places, and things, seen and unseen. Right. So that's an important place to start. And then we fucking knock half this virus right off of what it's even standing on, because it's a bunch of bullshit being blabbed, most of it. Right. As far as, right, the content of the word, meaning if I'm believing just what other beings are saying or just what I hear, or my first thoughts or feelings that could be very fearful or negative, because that's nature. The first thoughts and feelings we have are generally of a negative source. So it's like, blah. So we have to allow that to come back in, right? Tubal cane, travel back into the tube. There we go, Miss Moms. Let that thought and feeling enter back into the tube and come back into, right, I lost the cards, moon. I shuffled them. The moon card we had earlier, moon goddess, right? So we want to allow that to come back in and settle back into our stomach and know it's safe with the solar father and the uterine mother, right? Gaia and Uranus. There we go. And right, our Christ child is back home. Adam and Eve and Cain and Abel, our negative thoughts and feelings, all that energy came back, right, after jumping out. And right, and now is being nurtured by the divine, right, which we can call Mary and Joseph, or Mary and Jesus, in the heart chakra. Joseph is here, and Mary and Jesus, right, is a lotus. green and blue, right? And this is where also our buoyancy point is too, where truth resonates. Right, so we have 3 spheres. We have the crown here, right? And we have our crown, well, our heart chakra, which is blue and green, just like the earth, right? Because we had to balance those energies and to bring it to divinity here. And our solar plexus is like this, right? Not like this, like this. So you're right. Your belly button, your navel cavity, right? Coming out, shoots out and connects you to your higher conscience, your crown chakra, your personal, her sun star, your sun, right? And this is the alchemy of you. So your personal alchemy, you're all that. This is the tube that you're connected to, right? Tubal cane, so that you know the true you. And then you have to ground with your feet ground to the earth mother and the ocean and then you can spread out into all other elementals and star systems because you're connecting to your grounding your feet, you're centering your solar plexus to your higher conscious being and your star system, right? You're nurturing the umbilical cord. So here we're actually, so that's reconnecting. This is so good, Melissa. This is reconnecting Aldebaoth or Albadan, right? It's like that, the masculine and the feminine, right? The plug's getting plugged in. Right? Galactus getting plugged in. Because there's so many, this is a macro cosmic calendar. So we're going to go way up. You're fucking pushing through. Connecting. You're, yeah. Mother living. So many multidimensional things happen. They're all right. Everything we're all doing right now is right the fuck on. Woo woo! Birth in the new earth. What is it? 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 27 seconds. Presently. Oh, that was so good. I hope people watch. I hope other people come and see. And activate. I have my best friend's sister on here live with me right now presently, but she won't be here when whoever's watching after this is live, so she's in the future. But the energy's here and will always be and continue to grow on our soul family tree. In the place to be. Oh, so good. That's so much clarity. That just really, because Yaldabaoth is Chiron too, and Saturn and Kronos, and so the abandoned and the uterine lining, right? The lunar calendar. We go through 13 lunar cycles throughout the year. We go through 12 solar, and above and beyond that, there's many more different, right? Ecclesiastic, and cosmic and etc. cycles. Oh my God. Jason, just say you and he's. He said what? Little cutie. What did Jason say? Yeah, I want to know. Show that to the boys. She's beautiful. Oh, and that's so funny. That's like the thing. I just put my lotus. I just put my little lotus flower on my head. That kind of looked like that, didn't it? She kind of looks. She's beautiful. She also just reminds me. I just watched an episode of Walking Dead. She kind of reminds me of, and I'm way behind because I don't know that show, guys. So I just know it in real life. So I'm on like episode, I don't know, 3 or 4. It was 1 minute, 14 seconds and 44 seconds. Sorry, it threw me off. I kind of intertwined my sentence with the time. that I was looking at on the timer there. But yeah, it was so sad when the girl sister got eaten. And I know you guys are probably like, oh my God, yeah, I'm so behind. Yeah, I'm behind. I'm behind in a lot of areas. Okay. I may be ahead in some areas and then I'm way behind in many. So, and I don't mind. ISIS. I could die now, rebirth, motherfucker. I get in my spaceship and leave Earth, motherfucker. I'm gone. I'm gone. Ooh, Morgan. Can you dig it? And what's behind Morgan? Ah, my goddess of truth. Living proof. 42 laws of my. Don't be messing with you. You can't mess with that. You can look, but you can't touch. Cause the best things in life ain't free. No. Hestia. That was from Poison, which is actually pretty appropriate too. Uh-huh. The energy tends to do that. Melissa wrote, telling the narrative. Hell yeah. That's why I don't like to say or ask too much. It's like I just let it speak for itself. Iris. What happened to Iris? Communication. Iris. Where's your iris? Iris, where's your iris? Iris? Oh, wrong way. Backflip. Oh, snap. Mother Mary. Miracles. Medical. Medical. Medical or letical. Either way. Now you know 1 minute, 17 minutes, and 17 seconds. 1 hour, 17 minutes, 17 seconds. Nanu, nanu. Wisdom. That's so pretty. I love that card. Oh, she came out yesterday too. A lot of these did. Who we got? And Danu. Assurance. Reminds me of adaptability. And hell yeah, that's why humans kick fucking ass. Well, before we were humans, we've always kicked ass. Just saying. So as we're going through our human metamorphosis and evolution, right? It's like sometimes it's like, fuck the human, whatever. But it doesn't mean anything about, again, it's like that's just kind of something sometimes said to like shake us up and wake us up. Yo, I love who we are, where we came from, what we are, and whatever the fuck we're growing into, right? The unknown. It's like just keep dancing, keep swimming, right? I was listening to Doors earlier today. Waiting for the sun, waiting for the sun, waiting for the sun. And that's so pretty. That's a good happy card. That's why I'm leaving it there so long. It just looks so good. It's like, ee! Be happy. Happiness is a choice. Be it. Be that. Why would you want to be anything else? And it's like, we're going to go through shit and shitty feelings and have shitty moments and be around other shitty people that are having shitty moments and shitty thoughts and shitty feelings, right? But the more we, instead of being like, oh, 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 right? I see so many people are like, it's like, whoa, like, give you a freaking or something. Jeez, like, holy moly. it's like, you know, we all have our moments, but it's like, you know, the blame that goes around, or the inability to be able to like process an emotion without shooting off like a frickin' volcano or rocket or, right, jack of all trades. You know, it's like, and then why do we have to just sit and wait for you to keep coming back? It's like, wait a minute. We're just going to leave you a post-it note. Meet us at when you're able to read this language. We'll be here. We'll be there in the middle of, I'm just kidding, where there's no thing except whatever and wherever we are and are at in that present now moment. And what else do you have to be besides that? Right? We honestly, like, let me again, like, to give self recognition, and let's take a breath and look at how many things have we still not discovered, right, upon our planet, in our oceans, just in our own backyard, right? It's like, do you know your neighbor? Are you friendly with them? Are you friendly with people in your community? Have you gotten to travel all the places that you'd like to travel and see within the state you live in, the country you live in? Have you gotten to go to other countries and see the beautiful things that grow and that are part of the cultures and nationalities and rhythms and you know, like, where are you being guided to be, right, driven, or to dream about, or to, right, engage in some manner or form, right, to bring balance, right? Because as we're doing these things in our mind, as we travel to these places in our mind, we're helping healing the vibrations of all these nations. And, right, we're connecting with one another, just like how we are, like how Melissa and I are right now. I'm talking on a live video and she's typing away and go and we're there's so many different things, like how many, right, how many arms do we have, right? So many multidimensional things going on at the same time that we're doing this, which we got to do Zoom. We got to do eventually get on here and do Zooms like this. And we will, right, as we, because the energy just is so powerful. You know, and this is actually really nice how this is those 5-inch vines. Yeah, the vines, right? Vines grow up from the ground and choke the trees. Yeah, right. And like George Floyd said, I can't breathe. Or like I was talking about those crabs before. It's like when man starts to abuse an area, okay, person, place, or thing, Mother Nature and God is going to bring something in to create balance. But then man, a lot of the time, says something is a pest or something is of a okay, but why did something else come to, what's going, where there's a root issue, okay, that are we respecting nature in that area? Did something get over, right, fished for, or over polluted in some manner with something that now Mother Nature brought some other species in to clean it up in some manner or form because there's imbalance? So for us to then kill what Mother Nature is bringing in, see, this is like where we keep running into the same problem over and over, expecting different results, which is the definition of motherfucking insanity. So I was so appreciative if people on a regular basis would take the time and energy to take a look at things a little further and deeper before attacking and, like, right, cutting out, trying to cut things out. We need to look at things and nurture them and understand how cut, right? Why did we abuse? What did we do something, or is it just maybe a natural part of, right, transition? Because we're all going through transition and evolution, right? So, but when people start to get upset because it's going to interfere with their daily routines and what they usually buy, sell, and trade on, and now they're mad And that's why they want to attack whatever Mother Nature is bringing in order to create balance. Well, I'm just going to say, who do you think's going to win that fight? So instead of fighting and getting upset about not having your way, little Yahwehs, it would be much nicer to see beings trying to create harmonic solutions rather than more pollution with anger and, right, trying to live off of tomorrow, yesterday, anger, right? The desires, the solar plexus, the desire, again, tying back into where we were before. Egypt. Pharaoh. And again, money is printed with Pharaoh fluid, Ferro. So just because it's spelled different, it's just electromagnetic fluid. All dollar bills weigh the same, right? Dollar bill, y'all. Right? The only difference is the different electromagnetic currency that's splashed upon it, that's embedded, the hairs that are embedded in it. And also check into why there are like nano hairs embedded in all the masks everybody's been being forced to throw on their face and breathe that are activated with the warmth of your breath. Something to look into. Don't let your past hold you back. So, uh, pardon-moi. I dropped my. Oh no. Oh no. That's funny. The abyss just ate my blunt. I just dropped my blunt and the abyss like ate it. Bear with me a second there. I think I need like my flashlight there. I need a light. Where did it go? That's so funny. Oh, here it is. Yeah, that's crazy. Crazy Daisy. Hold up. Hybrids. We all hybrids. Want more Dave Matthews. Oh, Matthews. Right? I was listening to Cornbread the other day. And what else? Jimmy Thing. I love Jimmy Thing. And I was listening to a bunch. What I listened to today, I'm using to Mouse. One of my favorite instrumentals to listen to when I'm like in a zone. In that zone where I write and draw, or when I don't want to hear other words, but I need some kind of music on that give me a little creative flow. Yeah, something with that beat of that song, does something to me. It does something to me. Mama cocha turns me into water. Yeah. Gushin. I'm gonna finish reading about Pharaoh. So he's ruler of the solar plexus, the sun center in the subconscious mind. This is obscurity, or Egypt, and America is also considered Egypt, Atlantis. Again, different conscious states of conscious mind. Africa, it's a state of mind, of consciousness. A lot of people form, and it's a state of consciousness in the mind. That's why did all the lands separate? They used to all be in unity, right? Pangea. But until beings started to have difference in opinion and different, right, likes and dislikes, and I'm gonna go with this guy and that, right? So then the lands start dividing. So then we have separation. So this is why we control the weather, right? Dependent on how we're behaving and what we're, right? So now we're in a momentary lapse of, right, non-reason, and experiencing another major shift, right? A paradigm shift, a shift in consciousness. Again, evolution, metamorphosis, awakening, death and rebirth cycle, um, attaining Christ conscience, yeah, heirloom seeds important, totally. But there'll always be more. It's like Mother Earth always knows how to recycle herself. It's just man try to poison things. But that's why it's like the poison, people that are beings that are attempt still try, right? It's like, no, we have programs for you. It's okay. You know, we don't want you to hurt yourself or anybody else or Mother Earth or children or anything else, any person, place, or thing. So there's programs for beings that have, right, addiction, gambling, in many codependent areas, behaviorisms that are, right, viral, that are affecting not only themselves but others and the environment that not only they live in but that we all live in. So we don't want to like cut you out or kill you or remove you completely. We want you to get help because we love you, right? So we want beings to be able to achieve, right, balance and find emotional clarity and mental clarity and emotional balance, etc., right? And not have to run around feeling like there's no way out, because that's what the lie is, right? So, but if the people are only providing places that are full of lies and dead ends, well, again, it's like, I don't know, but that's not how I like to be treated. So I try not to falsify, say that something is a certain way if that's not the way it fucking is. I'm not gonna lie to my kids and be like, yeah. Like sometimes I might not be able to say all things, but I'm not gonna be a fucking liar and a sellout. No. But people say that's what makes the world go round, right? I don't know, who do? That's not what makes my fucking world go round. That's what makes me fucking sick. There ain't no balance in that. There's no logic. That's not common sense. There's no honor or respect or integrity in that. And that's not salvation. Green Tara. So, to each his own, but right, it's like you can only gamble for so long. Eventually, your money runs out. And the house always wins. Because you always come back no matter what. Yes, soil is missing what we need to thrive because the farmers have been using chemicals and Roundup for so long that they've destroyed the mineral content in the soil. So there's only so much at the top and the rest is rocks because everybody just wants to consume instead of nurture. Pull everything before it's ready, rush its growth, and then it may grow bigger and quicker, but it's missing all the nutrients that, right, give our body nourishment. So I might as well eat this candle. It's like half the people think that they're eating organic food and like something that's healthy, and it's like, really? Well, if the soil's not nice and like healthy and full of mineral and been nourished, then no, you're not. You're eating chemicals like everybody else. And because it's already gone through such a freaking immense process, I mean, it's like there's nowhere that it's not in the air and in the rain that's constantly being recycled, and that we've all been accustomed to, right, eating, breathing, and being part of for a long time. which is fine. That also goes back into where we're going to finish reading about Pharaoh, right? The solar plexus going round and round. Round up. Round them up. Yeehaw! Hold them down. Say, cowboys. Ooh. Boys will be boys. Bad boys. Persephone. Inexperienced. Persephone keeps coming up quite a bit too. And Demeter, like my mama. Are you happy to meet her? And she stops the seasons. And now, and the pomegranate that Persephone eats with Hades in the underworld, the past. There's a lot of potential, I'll say. Those are like hidden rights. Right? Not all as that appears. Not all as it appears to be, Alice. Wisdom. Like Taurus. Actually, this is like the runner the other day when I was I had pulled the Sacred Clown card in the David Bowie Starman deck tarot. And that's kind of like that was on the Sacred Clown's head too, like that exam, that same China, Russia, Germany, America. Yeah. You're again. She keep coming. I just shot again. Green Terra, Salvation again. All right. And yet, all roads lead to Rome. Right, and that just means like we've been roaming around like, right, walking dead zombies for so long. So Rome holds the gold, right? What's Caesar's belongs to Caesar and what's God belongs to God. So there's material, there's physicality, right? There's spirit, there's soul, like what we're reading about Pharaoh, or was that the other? We were reading about nature, connecting mind, body, and soul. Let's see, right? So, okay, into the left. So it's our lower vibrational state, right? Our animalistic being. Joseph's, right? Because it's a people. Joseph's being sold in Egypt signifies that our spiritual consciousness is being bartered away, right? Right? People in our fields of consciousness, etc. I have somebody knocking at my door. Please excuse me 1 sec. They left. Okay, yeah. Okay, right. That's like adrenochrome, or like remember Monsters Inc. So if outside sources can keep you busy, right? Watching TV, going shopping, buying their stuff. Of course, it's like if you have a business, of course you're going to want people to come to your business, right? So if you look at it more in like matter of fact manner, right? It doesn't seem quite as scary or as unachievable of a goal, or you don't put other beings or other things so much high above you or out of reach, because we're all one again, right? Don't make me take out the love ball. We're all one big family. Even if we don't know each other, right? There's the spaces in between all the snowflakes too that are falling. So they're experiencing, right, the flakes falling through them, right? That space. So that's also having an experience, even though it's not a physical thing that's moving, right? The physical things that are moving through the space, right, allow the space to also have experience. Knock, knock at your as knock, knock. My Miss Susan friend that reminds me of my grandmother Lorraine, and has my mother's name Susan, and knocks every day, a few times a day. And I love her very much. We have good conversations, but she can also, it's also like, it's like, listen, Baba Yaga. When she first came, I was like, ah, all our multidimensional forms. And she writes greetings. When she write 4, 4, and 5, I just rolled the dice. Two fours and a 5. Oh, I said 5. That's so great. Wait. Can I? The 1. I'm not moving it because I'm not lying. I said 1. I said 5, but it's a 1. 4, 4, 1. 4, 4, 1. What the fluck? Anyway, yeah. But she writes, greetings. And it's like greetings. It's so funny to me because first of all, I'm not making fun. I love it. It just brings me to like different things with my grandmother and stuff. But also, it's like so extra. Like greetings, not like hi or anything. It's like greetings from another planet. Which we are all. We are. I can't take it. There's Ricky Bobby. I don't know where he went. I haven't seen him. I hope he's well. Well, cutie. Yeah, my bro. Billy the Kid. Sundance Kid. Back to the sun. Getting distracted here. All right. 1, 2, 4 on that roll. Oh, geez. All right. You're allowed to play with me. I forget a conversation. I try to talk about one thing. I just know not to. You should see me trying to come up with a title before I ever come on here. Or how to YouTube will get me to. I have like 5 live shows all of a sudden sitting on there, like waiting. And I'm like, how do I do that? I don't even know what I did. I have like 5 upcoming live shows and I'm like, oh, gee, people are going to really think it's like, I don't even know how I did that. I'm still learning. I have to delete a bunch of them today. But nobody's home. There's some dimensions. I guess that are just sitting there waiting void. Oh, goodness. Okay. Our spiritual consciousness is being bartered away like Monsters Inc. Rawr, that we may enjoy the things of sense, right? No, state, you gotta make money, and you have to be important, have a job, and take care of your family and your bills, right? All that paper. All that stuff on paper that you gotta take care of that paper. I used to love paper dolls when I was little. And Monopoly. You do not pass go. You do not collect $200. Anybody seen Ace Ventura, Pet Detective? That was a scene from that. Okay. And that the life forces are being spent in their gratification. So what does that mean? Right? Shorter lifespan. So then people pass away. Right? That's why we've had shorter lifespan for so long, because it's been consumer, and anger and all this other stuff. Gluttony, right? Eating all this crazy food, just and all the right, blah, 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 right? Whatever, right? Whatever you could think of that we've all either been part of or have like scary thoughts or dreams of, or are freaking witnessing now in real life horror. Like certain things our eyes just can't erase that we're like, anybody with me there? Because I have a fucking shit list. Let it go. It's like my eyes didn't deserve to see that. Ay, ay, ay. I'm happy you're here with me, Mama Melissa. It is quite awkward, I will say. You know, the fact that most of the time when we do these videos, any of us, it's like you're talking to yourself. So that's why I think I've always had such a, because it's like I talk to myself all the time, but to do it out loud and then like no other, it's like it's a kind of a weird concept to me. So it's like, yeah, it bugs me out. It's taken me a while to get on the wave there, you know. I pass the Dutch to you. I smoke it with you. Absolutely. 1 hour and 46 minutes in, and we barely even begin. I could do this all night. Can you feel it? Lucky. Lucky nothing. I don't like lucky. Luck. Luck. Is it luck? Is it luck? Primus song. No, it's not luck, Chuck. Right. Let's see. Life forces are being spent in their gratification. Yeah, so we don't want to use that all up. That's why I say I can't take it with you. Be real smart right now. It's like, wait. We want reserves. A well, right? Bottled wine sits and is reserved, turning into a fine wine. Right? This is my blood, my wine that's running through my body, right? This is my body, right? Like we just read. Joseph being sold into Egypt signifies that our spiritual consciousness, he sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. Your chimney's being invaded, right? Your crown, the corona, the crown chakra, and the solar, right? So we want to just create a filter. It's like if you're panning for gold, right? Panning, right? You want to have that sifter, right? Or you make spaghetti, you got a strainer. You kind of want to have a strainer here floating above your, right where the earth star chakra is. Okay. I think that's above the crown. So it's like a filter, like a big hula hoop. So you want to have that kind of constantly filtering the stardust, right? The radiation and the streamline that's coming in best you can so that, right, you have more clarity. Because otherwise, just get heavy weighted with sand. And then if we get too heavy with sand, we become a sandbag. And then we go bloop, bloop, bloop down into the ocean. Right, Mama? Grounding goodness. Yeah. Right? People go ahead and make fun of a tree hugger now, motherfuckers. Yeah, get barefoot and get in the ground, and you better be good to sit under a tree right about now. Go wiggle those toes around outside in the barefoot in the ground. Feel the ground. Feel the rhythm of the ground, right? Allow yourself to connect. When we have shoes on, it's like a rubber sole. It cuts you off, like again, right? Turns your light bulb off. You're not connected. You just disconnected your source a little, right? So then you're not having it. You're not able to have, right? It's like to have your car run, right? Your battery. If your battery goes dead, you got to use jumper cables, right? You got to connect the negative and the positive. So if you're only running on one stream, right? If we're not grounded, right? We don't have that ground connected, then we're not lit up like we're supposed to be, right? We're only operating off, but we're not all our spark plugs are working, right? So it's really important, yeah, to incorporate all elementals. And Mercury, I think, is in Gemini now, or some of Mercury in Gemini, which is important because now we got Sun in Taurus. The new moon, I think the new moon is also in Taurus. We just had that full moon in Scorpio, which is the mirror reflector opposite pole of Taurus. And so that's why we're going deep into the subconscious and then also bringing it up to the earth, up from the under, up through the oceans, up through the, right, the soil. We want to nourish the minerals in the soil, right? And lots of mushrooms and all that other stuff that's in there. And then that pops up good clovers. The clover fields talk to, right? They have a whole, I guess, international relationship too with the soil and the mushrooms and the trees, right? It's a whole intergalactic, right? Planetary communication mission, different, right? And the minerals, right? Which is where also shit is needed, right? And death in order to create healthy soil, in order to then create life, right? So that's the natural cycle of things. And then incorporated with the sun and the rain and the moon and the night, right? So all things are important in balance. We wouldn't want to any one thing taken away needs to find balance in another way and is going to cause a pendulum shift, right? It's going to cause a swing in a pendulum, which is why we're experiencing what we're experiencing now too. Right, so the pendulum is always swinging and everything has a polar opposite and every cause has an effect, and every action has a equal or opposite reaction, and everything must find balance, and nature always travels back to its original source. So not meaning, right, necessarily physical. When people are like, it's like boom, two physical things are going to necessitate, it's like, well, in energetic manner and form on some level or another, yeah, like truth always is going to come piercing through, right? Like a lotus flower up out of the mud, right? Up out of the darkness into the light. That's how everything's birthed, from the darkness into the light, right? And then we use light so that we can see, because we happen to get scared of the dark after we're born, right? But we come from before there's anything seen or unseen, anything seen. And we come from the void with the triple darkness, right? The unexplainable, the unknown, right? So it's like when you try to verbalize it, we can't, but it's like you have to go there in order to experience it, to comprehend, right? The where that place of no thing and, right, Zen and 0 point and being and your point of origin is, right? To find, right? So where your consciousness has been birthed. Which is different than, right, your physical birthday, your solar, right, physical birthday, right, which is different than having your whole natal chart information. Okay, so let's see if I can actually read this. I'm going to just try to read through this because I'm running out of time and starting to get a little delirious. I'm going to need to go get some food. And yeah, and it's 8:30 p.m. here, so let's see. Okay, so they're being spent in their gratification. Pharaoh also signifies the whole house or whole body consciousness. I'll have to do this. I suggest definitely looking this up on your own too. Research, look up the metaphysical meaning. Again, this is on truthunity.net for pharaoh for other words. And then there's words lit up in blue. So like once you start to look these things up metaphysically and have understanding of the divine nature of a lot of the biblical phrases and terms, right? Because it's part of, right, opening the books, um, right, the Dead Sea Scrolls, sacred scrolls, right, looking deeper within under the surface of what's being, right, presented to us, the appearance of something, right? Somebody could look very stone-like and very, right, but deep down inside, right, it could be like a little, like a curious boy wondering, like, what's in that cup? He actually, this one I always like is like, he's like, the one in the after Tarot is even more funny. Okay. I deter. Pharaoh also signifies the whole house or whole body consciousness. He is the force, the boss that rules the Lord, the body, under the material Satan, Saturn, regime. All right. That ain't even right. His being ruler of Egypt means that he rules in obscurity, right? Like Cthulhu, it's like underneath, like, right? So somebody may say or behave a certain way, but like their intentions are different. Or like us empaths are like, it's like, we feel you, motherfucker. They're saying one thing to us, but then they're like, what? That aloof, willful ignorance. So ruling from in obscurity, like, oh, go do that, and then, right, so it makes something look good, but then ain't quite right. Thus, we understand that this one to whom Joseph comes is not in divine understanding, yet is receptive. So, right, it's just immature. It's not like necessarily, right, with malicious intent. Okay, I want to also just like, because a lot of the time, and then it can be because there's fear. So there's like, right, that goes back and forth to like narcissistic sociopath, like in relative, like human dialect and that language as far as psychologically, and right. So those behaviorisms only express themselves though when there's, right, again, like a wall that's been built. Okay, so the wall gets built because we've had to, like, right, we've had fear, so we've had to turn our heads over certain things, or blind, or because we got so hurt. It's like, I don't ever want to see that again or be part of that again, or just forget it, or take it from me, right? So a lot of beings, again, is a lot of, everybody has PTSD on some level, post-traumatic stress, right? So we've all had experiences on some level too, abuse or fear, abandonment, again, natural, right? They're non-divine feelings maybe, but they're necessary in order to have ability to know all the different multidimensional parts of ourselves. So to be appreciative and grateful for those too, and acknowledge them, and then try to get through them as, I won't say as quickly as we can, because sometimes that's not the goal. The goal is really to integrate and have full comprehension of oneself, right? So as long as that takes you, that's okay. Don't feel like, oh, I'm supposed to be somewhere else right now, because that's our ego. right? So there's a fine line that is very subtly slipped upon, that where our intention is of good, and then our ego takes over, and there we go down, right? Stocks go down. Our net worth just went, Jack and Dill just went fucking rolling down the hill. Humpty Dumpty fell off the fucking wall. And we fucking cut down the beanstalk. Hit the road, Jack. All right, so yeah, schisms, and we're like, and then we're like, and then we beat ourselves, Beelzebub. Then we beat ourselves up because we feel guilt and shame, right? So we're like, oh, I'm so stupid. Nobody's gonna like me. Now I'm never gonna make it anyway. Fuck it, forget it, right? Fear, fuck everything and run, right? Forget it. Just forget it. I'm running the other way. Forget it. Or false evidence appearing real. Acronyms for the word fear. Just two. All right. Okay. So thus we understand. Right. So he is being ruler of Egypt means that he rules in obscurity. Thus we understand that this one to whom Joseph comes is not in divine understanding, yet is receptive. So, right, has the ability to be adaptable, right? But needs to be nurtured, and also needs to have a boundary as well, right? That is of, right, like a healthy boundary. When the Lord shows him coming events in his dreams, he seeks to know the true interpretation. And when he is convinced, he makes the new state of consciousness ruler next to him over his whole kingdom. And I forget which card. Let's see, is it? I think it's Temperance. In the tarot, where the crown is like next to the body. And when he's convinced, he makes a new state, over the whole kingdom. Pharaoh can also be said to represent the conservator of the substance and life in the organism, right? So bacteria is living in your organism, in your body, as you're breathing and living and experiencing your life in this right now moment, right? So the bacteria that are living within your body, right? And right, making sure that all the stuff gets digested in your digestive system, right? And so some bacteria is good to have, right? This is where it's not always bad to have, right? Something that we call bad, a virus or bacteria, or right, going through dis-ease, right? Dis-ease means we're not at ease. We're going through something that makes us uncomfortable. We don't feel good. It makes our emotions not feel good. Our thoughts are of chaotic thinking and confusion. That's dis-ease. And it can manifest things within, right, our living organism if we, right, allow those thoughts and feelings to overcome our divine nature. So it's not the end when something manifests. It's no, we got to take a look at that and see why we manifest that so we can untangle, right? Miss Missy, you still here with me? Yeah. The vines that have grown up from underground and start suffocating our vessel, and we're unaware of what they all are, right? Because they're constricting the blood vessels or what have you within. We have blockages within that we can't see. But we have repetitive patterns of thinking and feeling that we're unconsciously aware of, but that we do all the time, just like when we drive and we put a blinker on and we're like, we don't have to really think about driving no more. We just do it unconsciously. As we're driving, we can talk, we can, right, go about our business, you can, you don't have to think so much, right, as you're driving. So that's unconscious activity that we do every day. How many things do you unconsciously do every day? The shot ain't helping all that. Well, that also goes into Satan and alcohol and not having boundaries and fear and shot, right? Al Ghul, spirits, want to go to the bar, want to make it past the bar and go do shots, right? Our trigger fingers are our thumbs and our pointers, right? We either pointing or, right, 1, 2, 3, 4, I declare a thumb war. Humans are, right, and our thumbs can get us into a lot of trouble. And these are our gun fingers, right? Take aim. Bam, 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 bam. Right? 7. 0000007. So, again, it comes from fear and not acknowledging, you know, not slowing down enough, not having enough sleep, not allowing enough time and space to be able to process our thoughts because we've all been racing with time, right? The human race has been racing with father time and creating, right, and running all over, right, Lucifer's playground or Satan's earth, right, materialism. And we don't, right, we don't want to wake up. We'd rather get a shot and go back to normal. A lot of the people. I don't believe it. Nope, the news said blah, blah, blah. But we have to take a look at all that, right? This card. Two of Wands. This card, Two of Wands, presently too makes me think of kind of like someone that's more, yeah, again, enveloped in materialism. He's kind of sitting alone on a stone wall, looking out into like. It doesn't look very happy. Made a lot of deals, but what does he really have? Maybe best intentions. Maybe, tried really hard, but sometimes our expectations are what really get us in trouble. Like I said, that fine line can be very fine, that subtle line where our ego takes over and then we're like, right, sulking and shame and pity, like shoulda, coulda, woulda. And that's bullshit because it's like, well, right now, in this now moment, right, be grateful. Because see, that's how it's like, oh, and then we can be like, oh, for people that are like, oh, I didn't get to blah blah blah, or I never, or this always happens. Okay, that's valid, right? But we want to all come up with ways that we can, right, work together in a manner that, or on our own, that is, right, flourishing, high vibration, harmonic, a solution revolution, right? Dang blunt, I dropped it again. All right, so let's see what else we got here. Whole new kingdom. Pharaoh can also be said to represent the conservator of the substance and life in the organism, but his consciousness covers the activities of the natural man only. His dreams of the 7 full years of corn and 7 thin and blasted years, and of the 7 well-favored and fat-fleshed kine, or kine, K-I-N-E, and the 7 ill-favored and lean-fleshed kine point to this. The following is the significance of his dream. And now, yeah, I'm aware. Remember, this is like in the Bible, it's like talks about like how he had all these different people came to interpret the king's dreams, and he didn't like what they said. I think he cut off a whole bunch of their heads. And then He found what's his name? Solomon, or I forget his name in the Bible because I'm never good at remembering names. But anyway, in the story, it's the moral of the story that matters. So um it's like, he, yeah, was nervous of his dream, and because he was told it was like, oh, there's gonna be plagues, it means this good, and save all your stuff, Pharaoh. And he tried to save everything, and then like everything got like ruined anyhow, even all their stuff that they tried to save for reserves, because they were more concerned with material and consumption, right? Again, like, oh, let's just get the shot because we're gonna go back to normal. This is like, again, this is like key words to Bible and the plagues, and like to, right, Egypt and Exodus, and let my people go, and stop with the money and the trading in the temple of my father, and etc. Right? Because it's time to rise your divine feminine. Right? How many people looked at COVID as a blessing, that you got to be home with your families, right? And take a look at yourselves and do creative things at home, maybe garden or paint or cook, right? Come up with different solutions of being squished in tight spaces, right? Testing your patience, right? These things are all, if you look like in the Book of the Dead or in any kind of these are the rituals. This is what it's talking about, right? Going through them, being in other mindly states, and etc. Right? Having to go through different, expressions of life, say, within our vessel, so that we're able to experience, say, death and rebirth within the vessel, and birth our Christ consciousness again, and take our rightful place at the seat of Osiris, right? To light up, right? Kundalini rising, right? Upgraded DNA. However it applies in your mind's eye, however you see it to be, right? It's like hero's journey. There's a lot of different interpretations, right? So, and people will argue about it, because why? Most of the time, because they think that they're playing a board game and they're supposed to be ahead of somebody. It's like, yo, we're all just like floating in like galactic waters. So it's like, where are you at? What's in your wallet? How you doing? It's like, hey, we're being able to communicate with other planetary systems. That's who we all are. So it's like that in itself is fucking miracle and amazing. And if you break it down into the quantum and into right comprehension metaphysically, it's like we are the ones we've been looking for. Because when we look out, and when beings are, right, double slit method, what you're watching's watching you. That's what, if you look at the words, it's like we were watching some NASA thing the other night, or a UFO files thing, and it was like about like how the scientists talk about like and I was giggling because the key words they said were, when you're looking out at the like certain star, do you realize you're looking at yourself, right? Like you're um everybody's eyes, right, different doors of perception. So we're all floating in right, outer space, right, in space ships, meaning, right, we have, right, our memory metal. Our bodies are made out of like all the different metals and elements of the periodic table, right? It grows with us. Our skin is it's the largest organ in our body. It grows with us, whether we get fat or pregnant, as we're growing from, right, a baby into, how do we, right? It's like, do you remember being a baby? How'd your body get from being a baby till how big it is right now? And right, gradually, right? Ancient builder race, right? Your ancestors are building upon themselves within your interdimensional planetary body, right? It's crazy fucking thoughts, really. It's like, but it's surreal. It is deep, right? Deep is the abyss. And you really got to go into that triple darkness to connect with that, to be able to see things in that manner and form. Um, and then I know there's so much more, you know, right? But just to be able to get in touch and in tune with that, I'll say, I guess, trajectory of self, and to be the star that you are, and allow the interplanetary and star systems to, right, communicate with you from within, because that's your ancestors, right? The universe is inside of you. And then when we open our eyes, right, then we can see, right, five senses. Oh, these eyes. I see way different when I close these eyes. Right. And the truth, right? This is a lot, can bring a lot of confusion with my eyes open like this. Sorry, I just got a text. So it's like thunder, lightning. The way you love me is frightening. I better knock on wood, baby. Okay. Egypt has a specific significance in the body consciousness and refers here to the subjective mind. There flows into the body functions an energy that especially stimulates the generative center when the subconsciousness is quickened by truth. When Joseph goes down into Egypt, love you, mamas. Shine on, sisters and brothers. That's what Miss Missy says. Groovy, gravy, groove is in high. Okay. Evolutionary force of new ideas that have grown in the subconscious. Oh wait, I jumped there. Sorry. Yeah, the subconscious is quickened. The subconscious is quickened by truth. Yeah, so I was just saying before, going into the deep, dark abyss. That's the subconscious, where Hades, Pluto, Persephone, and experience. So it can be scary. So getting taken down into the underworld can be very scary, but they're terms of use, and that's like really truly what we're experiencing right now. Right now. Right about now. Okay. There is a great increase of vitality. Oh, wait. This lasts about 7 years or has 7 degrees of activity. There is a great increase of vitality. This is the symbolism of the 7 fat kine and the 7 full ears. Those who are wise conserve this energy. See, it ain't about freaking jerking off or sticking it in another person and not allowing your seed to spill. Well, it could mean that too. And you should much, absolutely make sure that practice stays sacred, right? So you're not spilling your seed all over the place and leaving like 7-year messes, because that's what that means too. When we engage in intercourse with another, right, that you exchange, like, say, sexual demons, energies, you're exchanging energetic fields. So for 7 years, you're right, quantum entanglement. It's like quantum entanglement. Your nets are kind of gonna vibratorily have one another's energy and, you know, carrying around with them. You're gonna, right, and depending on, I don't want to get too crazy into that whole bloodline stuff and the like DNA and right, different beings hold different bloodlines, hold different forms of right, say, right, or we receive it in different ways, right? It's not even about, we don't even, it's um, so lots of different, right, species and multi-sexual beings here. Not just male, female anatomy of human nature. It's like there's a lot of different, like I just said, those fucking crabs, they give birth to 25,000 to 35,000 eggs at a time. Ah! Just take a, okay. Anyway, all right, so tadpoles. Okay. Okay, the vitality. And that's true. Yeah. When you start to recognize truth and allow the process to, right, to begin, right? Is everybody in? The ceremony is about to begin. Well, why? Why? Um, it's just a feeling. No, we can clear it. You can clear that energetic field. You know, it doesn't have to, yeah, it's just, we're working, that's what we're doing right now. So it's that, this is like a past thing too, because we're not staying stagnant in the material realm like that. Pardon me one sec, because I think I have a knock at the door again. Yeah. For like 2 hours. 2 hours and 21 minutes so far. All right. What was I saying? All right, wait. There is a great increase in vitality. This is a symbolism, all right, of the 7 fat kind and the 7 full years. Those who are wise conserve this energy and store it in the consciousness, because there is always a reaction proportionate to the action. This is a law that holds good in all forms of energy. When the generated force of action is properly conserved, however, the reaction is not felt. When we let this higher or Joseph state of consciousness rule in our members, the Lord shows us just how to handle the situation. And we make a storage battery of the cities or ganglion centers throughout the consciousness, right? Right? We were just talking about the battery too before, right? So it's like a Jesus built by Hot Rod. That's a song by Ministry. So now it has to do with the car and oil, right? And get your motor running. So our motor is always running, but we got to put the key in the ignition and have full tank of gas, or electric car, right? You got to turn the key or push to right, start the car to get it moving. And the cities represent meaning of cities. That's pretty short. Cities means fixed states of consciousness or aggregations of thoughts in the various nerve centers of the body. The presiding or central thought meaning of a city is found in the significance of its name, combined with that of the man tribe, country, or nation with which it is mentioned. That's some metaphysics. See, that's so good. That's a right. So it's not just one thing. You have to take the whole city into right consideration. In their highest significance, the cities of Judah represent spiritual centers of life and consciousness, right? Because we've taken all things into consideration. The city which hath the foundation, whose builder and maker is God, right, of divine nature, not of the just animalistic nature, is the spiritual body, Hebrews 11:10. Its foundation, this card again. Oh, I know, yeah, the fibers. Yeah, miss. The city which hath the foundation, whose builder and maker is God, is the spiritual body, right? And unseen. Its foundation is the ideal body created by divine mind. By faith, we bring this ideal body into manifestation. Right now, with hope, with faith, right? And faith without works is dead, and work without faith is dead. Let's see. Moses and Pharaoh represent two forces at work in the consciousness, especially that part pertaining to the body, physical and material, like we keep speaking of. Moses represents the evolutionary force of new ideas that have grown in the subconscious mind, right? Which then could grow, right? Mars, they get driven, the masculine intellect, that are tugging at the old states of limitation and material ignorance. It's the Joseph or the Pharaoh, and trying to rise into a higher life expression. Pharaoh represents the force, the phos, that rules the body under the material regime. And see keywords, right? Rules, right? And under material. The Lord, Jehovah, in parentheses, as given in the American Standard Version, is here the universal law. Mm-hmm. But the Lord is Merc, Pharaoh, and Joseph, and Moses. Yeah, to me, more is the universal Father. Yeah, universal law. The impulse of which is always upward and onward, yet seeking always to preserve equilibrium. It is found by those who are undergoing the regenerative process, which the scriptures symbolically illustrate, that these two forces are constantly at work in consciousness. Like we were saying before, right? The crown chakra and the stomach, or the brain and the stomach, are always conversing. It's the same. We found a fish. We found a fish. They don't know. We don't know what to do with it. Which the scriptures symbolically illustrate, that these two forces are constantly at work in the consciousness. One holding to old ideas and striving to perpetuate them in form, and the other idealizing the new and bending every effort to break away from material bondage and rise above its limitations. Muscle up. Paul says, the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. Look at it from the personal standpoint. We are likely to cry out in this struggle, who shall deliver me out of the body of this death? But as philosophers, in the understanding of the law of change, we balance ourselves between these two forces and let them work out under the equilibrium of the universal preserver of all forms, which is the Lord or Jehovah. Here is consolation. Connect the body and the mind. Yeah, tool. Yeah, and the vagus nerve needs to be connected to the third eye and the heart chakra and the solar plexus. And that's like coming from the left above the human heart. So there's a lot of different, right, energetic or nervous systems that are entwined within the physical body that we're physically walking around in, right? The internal, and then there's a lot of external, right, like grids, nervous systems that are also running and operating, right? Different chakra systems, different. So if something's out of whack, it's like driving your car. If your your tires are, you know, low in air and they're out of balance, the car could be shaky, or the front end is out, or you got a spark plug that's not great, like firing, or haven't changed your oil and your air filter, right? It's like be a little sluggish, not running as like nice as it could be, right? So it depends, right? Having a balanced system. Vamana. Here is consolation for those who chafe under the whips and the bonds of the regenerative law. They think that the defeats that they suffer and the snail's pace at which they apparently creep along are indicators that they are off the track. I remember just saying that like 2 hours ago in this video about like don't feel bad if like you feel like you're supposed to be somewhere else, or like if you're not doing enough, or if you're, it's like, because that's like when we're in those moments of we're gonna feel like we want to escape. So that's the ego wanting to run out of the body, like it just said, where do I find death in this body? How do I you know, who shall deliver me out of the body of this death, right? Because you have to, right, travel in, like we pulled the moon card in the beginning, right? Going into the triple subconscious, not the, right? It's finding your original space in 0 point, right? In the galactic ether, really, in the dark black seas, right? Where there's no thing. If you're still thinking it's something, right? Haven't gotten there yet, right? Haven't found it yet. 9:09 p.m. I'm going to finish reading this and then depart. When the physical body is in pain, it's the last alarm the body gives off. Yeah, I'd agree with that presently. Alchemy. All right. So yeah, you think you're going slow. Where were we? The snail's pace at which they apparently creep along are indications that they are off the track. This is not true, right? False evidence appearing real. Fear. Fuck fear. They have only to persevere and wait patiently upon the Lord, right? Patience is a virtue. If the spiritual could have the ascendancy in you instantly, it would destroy your body entirely, and you would be left without a working vehicle. Like that's funny, we're just talking about relating it to a car. Yeah, that's like right to see God. Yeah, it's too much radiation, too much light, too much, right? And I know about that too much feeling because I get it's like I rains right through my crown like a fucking one of those trains in like Japan that are on the magnetic tracks. Faster than that. Okay. If the spiritual could have the ascendancy in you instantly, it would destroy your body entirely. Yeah. And you would be left without a working vehicle. The purpose of the spiritual thoughts in the body, children of Israel down in Egypt, is to raise it up. Even though you feel like this, gradually to infuse into it a more enduring life and substance. Yeah, because alchemy takes a while. So it's just like anything. We're cooking something, it's 9/11. Or right, we have to wait for things. You order a pizza. Again, we said that before. You gotta wait for it to be made and delivered, right? Things take time to, everything takes time. Baby takes time to be born and grow, and the cells multiply. So as we sit in our now and present moment, our cells are healing. The more we rest, are at rest, at ease in the now and present moment, our bodies know how to, right? Our ancient ancestor builder race within us, within our interdimensional being, knows how to build upon itself. right? And guides us naturally when we tune in, right, to that spot, that sweet spot. The purpose of the spiritual thoughts in the body, children of Israel, is to raise it up gradually, to infuse it into a more enduring life and substance. When you affirm the spirituality of the body and yearn for release from the bondage of materiality, right? There you are, you become the fool. But the fool isn't bad. It's like, I'm ready. Got rid of all your shit and are ready to start anew. When you affirm the spirituality of the body and yearn for release from the bondage of materiality, you are making demands on Pharaoh. Then, in fear that he will all at once lose his hold upon life, he hardens his heart. And sometimes the Lord or Jehovah, the universal law of equilibrium, hardens it for him. Then, Exodus 8:15 and 9:12. Then there seems a failure to attain that which you have tried to demonstrate. Story of my life. But a step has been taken in the all-round evolution of the body, and you will find that you are gradually becoming stronger, both physically and spiritually, and mentally, and in all other ways. See Egypt, Joseph, and Moses in studying the symbology of Pharaoh. And back to the Page of Cups again. Yeah, dissolving chords with love as we birth. All right, Miss Melissa T, I love you, Mama Chickadee. Thanks for hanging out with me this whole time. It's been fun. 2 whole hours and 37 minutes. More of that to come. Dum diddy dum diddy diddy dum dum. We are the world. All right, please like and subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified. Soul Tribe. Not happening to me. Not happening to me. It's happening for me. That's a good one to definitely. Yeah, it's like whatever 5 and snake eyes and 2 ones. Whatever works, definitely. Like serenity prayer, just thinking of your breath, concentrating on breathing. Yeah, it's not happening to me. It's happening for me, right? So I can see, right? More possibilities. I'm just feeling or thinking I'm stuck. Am I stuck? Right? I just have to allow more time and space, right? So that thought can be replaced, right? Move a thought, move a muscle. Change a thought, move a muscle. All right, I'm tired now. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Come back again. Love you, miss. Later.